complete to Mark Andrews. It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Jaguars.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. They'll run for the first time with Travis Etienne. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. And, Charles, you wonder about this defense coming in. I mean, look, it's no secret they're playing a team that's down on its luck right now. Losers of 5 straight. How does that change how you prepare for a game?
Well, to me, the first thought is you just get after him early, right?
The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Sacked by Yannick Ngakoue, the former Maryland Terp.
Now, that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game, because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They're looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. Picked off by Isaiah Rodgers. And he's got room. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. Etienne. And he'll power his way up near the 25. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And they'll go again with Etienne. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
For the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And it's intercepted. And some space here. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Again, it'll be Taylor. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
On 3rd and goal, Ryan. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Chase McLaughlin now for the field goal try. This just a 24-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Well, this defense for the Colts, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number? 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Lawrence. Well, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked off by Brandon Faison. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. After the interception, here's Ryan. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, defensively, you're over there trying to catch your breath and try not to show the offense that you're a little bit fatigued. You're right back out there after the turnover. Now they've got to work towards getting another couple of stops and forcing them into at least a long field goal situation.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Ryan. Got a man. It's complete to Jelani Woods. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus, and indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Now Ryan on first down.
Well, throw for Pittman is intercepted. And the Jags will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
Boy, that's the kind of interception that can save a game right there. They're already down 2 scores. Huge play, slowing down what was going against them.
I was thinking the same thing. You get down 3 scores there at this stage, could be in for a long ball game. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And then finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
They go play action with Lawrence.
And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Lawrence will throw. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, there's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Lawrence. The pressure gets to Lawrence, and he'll go down. It was the linebacker, Shaquille Leonard, who applied the heat. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Here's Lawrence.
Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Colts are going to take possession of the football.
Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offense coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. But a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Touchdown, Colts!
Michael Pittman,
his 2nd touchdown on the season.
And the Colts are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Meanwhile, Lawrence is thrown into the hands of Andrews. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 22 yards there, a first down.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Lawrence going to get this to Etienne. Touchdown! Travis Etienne, 54 yards. And the Jaguars are able to cut into that deficit. Riley Patterson now for the extra point. That is good, and that'll make it 20-7.
Makes the score Colts 20, Jaguars 7. Logan Cook to kick off for the Jaguars.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Indy offense at the line and set to go.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Ryan. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack.
K'Lavon Chason, the former first-rounder, in there to get the sack. Well, he shot in, CD, like he was out of a cannon from that linebacker position. And even though they had a running back in the backfield, no one could stop him.
Well, you certainly diagnosed that play perfectly because as fast as he got into the backfield, you're exactly right. The running back had no shot to get over and try and protect his quarterback, and a sack resulted.
3rd and long. It's Ryan. Under pressure, and they got to him again.
Brought to the ground by the linebacker, Foye Oluokun.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
As Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And they'll have a short field to go as this drive starts on the fringe of the red zone at the 20.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne.
And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
Bobby Okereke making that tackle.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 19-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9. Play action. It's Lawrence. Pass on the crossing route is complete. This is Andrews. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Mark Andrews, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars have cut it back within a score. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And the lead will shrink to 6. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Running left, Taylor. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run for this with Moss. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 41 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Defense doing their job, really nowhere to run the football.
Yeah, it's almost textbook, wasn't it? Every place he tried to find an open spot, there just wasn't one. Congrats to the defense, no gain.
Call fitting your gaps, right?
I love it. You're exactly right.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. This time Ryan will throw. This is caught. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. A very solid gain of 27.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll run here with Taylor. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. Second and goal from the 1. Ryan keeps it on the sneak, and he takes it in for a Colts score. Matt Ryan, as the first half is winding down, and the Colts would extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good, and the lead now stands at 13. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Fields it right around the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Lawrence. So we hit halftime here in Indianapolis with the Colts on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Jaguars with work to do. They trail here as we are back underway on EA Sports. This one fielded at the 5. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
Jaguars take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Lawrence to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Fortunate to get that football back because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity because it could have been lost there. Their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Just a little too lackadaisical, Charles, and they didn't get up and snap the ball in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he understood where the clock was located. In different stadiums, it's in different places. You have to check that in pregame and make sure you're aware so you don't run into penalties like these.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Now Lawrence to throw. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. ETN up the middle. And taken down just shy of the 40.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Bobby Okereke. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football. Tough one there. First drive of the 3rd quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be in even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. A big play there for Indy, and even 40 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
Taylor is going to take this one in for a Colts touchdown. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Breaks the huddle. His guys will go for 2. To throw for it is Ryan. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here, because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense, that's 2 points for them. But he identified an open target and put it right on him.
Sanchez now. He'll kick it away following the touchdown. And trouble there on the kickoff as that goes out of bounds. Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, but that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll try the left side with Etienne. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. DeForest Buckner using that size to force his way in there and make the stop behind the line.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Another tote for Etienne. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw. Lawrence. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
And those two just have been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Here's Logan Cook now as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Here's Jackson to return. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. They go play action now. Ryan. Eyes the crossing route, and he finds Pittman. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
They give to Taylor out of the gun.
But obviously they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. A hole to dig out of here. 2nd and 17. Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. K'Lavon Chaisson able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Well, that sack backs Ryan and the Colts up a bit here, facing a 3rd and long. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10.
At their own 35-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
On play action, Lawrence
Steps away.
He'll air this one out for Kirk.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Julian Blackman. And the Colts are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores. But, yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go.
They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
They run once more with Taylor.
And some room to run now. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down. Three quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
First and 10, Taylor now.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation.
They'll try and run for the first with Taylor.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Up the middle, here's Taylor.
Tackled there by Rayshon Jenkins.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Second and 9.
And right side, they're going to go option here. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, well, he had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage. As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
On third down, Lawrence.
And now here's another interception.
Picked off by Isaiah Rodgers.
The number 7 usually lucky here. Not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he'd won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks.
Darius Williams in there to make the tackle.
On second and 9, Ryan, and he's got the hook up here. It's Woods.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
On third down, here's Taylor.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
102 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Give him a couple on the carry there, second and 8.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on second and 8.
Toss play to Jackson. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
Chad Muma brings him down on that one defensively.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Indianapolis, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, the downward spiral continues as they drop to 0-6 now. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.